Hello, everyone, and welcome to Cross Comics After Dark. Tonight we have with us Todd Mulrooney from Florida Man. We'll be talking with him about his comic on Indiegogo, although it's been there for a while. How much longer do you guys have left for that? Or
Well,
do you
Rick,
know?
we only have 14 days left, so you better get on.
For sure. Well, I wasn't sure whether you guys had finished or were in demand. I know I'm a bit late on the upstart of getting you on here for this, but I've just recently restarted the talking with series.
Yeah, that used to be a mainstay. Used to do it
Yeah,
in the afternoons too.
no, the talking with well, sometimes I'd have somebody on just generally talking with them about their campaign, but I did for I don't know a couple months have people on Saturday nights, and we got somebody here. Hello,
Hello, hello.
hey, Metal.
Boys, metal.
No, I'm Zeus.
Now you're
You know, Rick, I think you gotta. Every once in a while, you kind of reinvent yourself, which is I always liked about you. You know, you rename some of your shows, take over some different time slots. You never know what's going to go on with you. But I
yeah,
think you should do Rick's Wild West Rodeo Show.
It would fit the
I
high
don't know
noon
how.
theme.
Yeah,
And it's not about rodeo. That's just
yeah,
the name, you know. It's
yeah.
or Rick's Carpool Karaoke.
Yeah. You just call it the Wild West Roundup.
Yeah.
You don't have to have the rodeo in there.
Yeah. Well, except I'm not in the West.
Oh,
You know that'd be closer to cats to me.
so
But
Rick, you have any questions about the campaign or anything in general about Florida Man?
well, not yet. But I guess we could. Do you want to wait to go over the campaign? We've only got two people watching at the moment,
Sure,
or
we can wait to get your peak. I'm
who knows what my peak is? But
I'm really curious if Evan Hotep will show up because I heard he was abducted, straight up
yes,
abducted.
yeah. There's something going on with Evan. I think something happened in real life with family or whatever. Seen something on
Oh
this
no,
Discord about that.
no. Abduction is a real thing, and he really was abducted. A white, from what I mean, I've seen the footage. A white van pulled up, pulled at. We've never seen what Evan looks like, so he pulled up. Shadowy guy, his head's down, push him in the van, off they go. And last I knew, they looked like they were heading north to Canada, but I mean, you never know.
The Great Wait North, eh? But
So
yeah,
how?
actually, I'm
Go
sorry.
ahead.
No, go ahead.
What's the latest on your campaign? Money coming? Money in transit?
They're trying to put it. They're right now. Technically, they're trying to put it in, but most likely it'll be a miracle if it goes in because they've tried with the same information for the past 2 months several times, and it hasn't gone in. They're not listening to me, so probably by the end of July, I'm going to have to refund everybody, and then I'm going to send everybody over to actually a website, my website, and get them just to go on here and pay through PayPal. But there's debit and credit that you can use through PayPal without, I think, even having a PayPal account. So I'm gonna do a little bit more to this, but it's basically set up, but I can do more to it. So and it's a pain that I have to do that. I don't like that. That I have to do that, but with not being able to get the money, it looks like and people want their book. I don't think people want to wait 50 zillion years for Indiegogo to get their act together. I'm trying to tell them to contact the bank to find out why it isn't going through, with their system. I have no idea how their system works, the ACH electronic payment. They have a better idea than me.
Sounds very convoluted.
Yeah. But,
So, I have another question, Rick, because I'm interviewing you. Where are the Toronto Blue Jays going to play?
I have no idea. They've been practicing up here for the past few weeks, but
why aren't they allowed to play in Canada?
Probably because of the whole border crossing thing. I know an individual like me, if I were to go to the States and then come back, I'd have to, be in quarantine for 2 weeks. Well, they're supposed to be playing a game. I don't think they can go do that.
Oh, so this all has to do with the pandemic and certain rules that were put up. Oh,
yeah.
Interesting.
From what I know, anyways, I haven't been following it completely, but I've got, bits here and there about it. So it's crazy.
So they need a stadium, but they can't use the stadium another team is in because you can't play unless it was turf. But you can't play. Essentially, baseball teams play. Not all. If they were home for a whole week, that would be 6 games. If the other team were home at the same time, and say one team played during the day and one team played at night, that'd be 12 games on the same field. That's a nightmare for groundskeeping.
Yeah, for sure. Not that, actually, the groundskeepers, I would think, would love it, though, because, it's not like they're doing a lot of other stuff right now. There's barely any concerts going on or anything. So it would give them the extra work and a little bit of extra time and money.
Well, yeah, but I don't know
it'd be on one day, so yeah, it'd be a killer day, I would admit.
Yeah, but I don't know that a field could handle that.
Yeah.
The grass and the dirt would just be torn up. You'd have to do so much replacement work.
Yeah.
Because groundskeepers, they get jobs throughout the year because they have to maintain it at a very specific level.
Yeah.
But if they're forced to play, and for instance, they'll have to play in the States. If it were me, if I were on that team, I'd be like, play somewhere nice and warm. Let's play or somewhere nice and nice and even. I don't know.
Maybe down in Florida.
Yeah, I mean, let's see what the biggest. I don't know. They might be able to draw more than that. So obviously, you have a lot of AAA teams, you have a lot of stadiums for use of spring training, but none of them really have a huge.
Well, it's difficult to say because you wouldn't have the Blue Jays hometown crowd coming, which would be thing. There'd be probably people to go just because it's the bait a lot, even wherever they end up. Right. But I don't think you would get as many as you normally even would with it being in Toronto.
Mm-hmm. Well, you might get a large group of people for the novelty at least the first time. Like, hey, look, it's a Canadian team playing in our hometown. I don't know if it'd be repeat for the training, but at least the first time there's the novelty.
Yeah. Yeah, but people might come and see them play because it's maybe it's their team, some other team that they want to see play too, Yeah, but I just don't think that they would get the same numbers as they would things. So they could probably use a AAA stadium, be a lot less numbers. But then again, everything's going to be a lot less numbers.
Well,
right now
I don't know. I don't know that actually. Now that I think about it, the stadium wouldn't matter. Right, it would be the configuration. So there are probably parks they could play because they're not having fans. I forgot.
Yeah.
So the stadium really doesn't matter. It would be like a fair. You would need a fair ball. Whichever field might have a fair ball game in it, because some of those, they're a little closer. The fences aren't as longer. So we just have to pick the one that has the I guess, the best.
Yeah,
The
make sure you're at sea level.
Yeah. We got Raggedy here in the chat, and he says, "Yo, yo, yo." He's been here for a couple
Raggedy,
minutes.
have you seen Evan? Because we heard he was abducted.
You heard he was abducted.
Oh, I saw it. I saw footage.
Where was this footage?
It was on this sort of deep state kind of website that, traffics trolls. They go and they just pick them up and take them.
You sure you weren't being trolled?
If you're a known troll, you gotta watch out for these people. They pull up in unmarked vans and just snatch you. How many people you got, Rick?
We got 5. I guess we can go over to the campaign now. Not as many as I would like, but more people will come in and we'll get questions from the chat and all that.
Awesome.
So let's
play that video. Why don't we start by playing the video? That's always a good conversation starter, I guess. Burning. No sound, Rick. Rick, no sound. Where's the sound? Rick, where's the sound?
No. This awkward silence is much better. The audience lives for this.
Yeah. Great visuals. That guy's a good artist. That's enough to make me want to back it. The art is fantastic. Thanks, Rick.
Okay,
the colors are great. Could use some better line art, though.
Was everybody able to hear that out in the chat? I just want to make sure.
He said I would have backed it.
I guess that answers my question.
You want me to play it, by the way? I could do it.
Okay, yeah. My mom just answered my question. Okay, so let's...
Brave tab. Bing. Share audio. Bing. Share. Ready.
Hey man, y'all got beer still?
You've seen the story. Now, writer Mike Barron and artist Todd Mulrooney are bringing the quintessential Florida man, Gary Duba, to life. Gary's just a regular guy living in a trailer with his girlfriend Crystal, but he's got dreams, big dreams. He just invented house suspenders that will secure any home to the ground in rough weather. And now he's going to show them off on Piranha Pool, the TV show where venture capitalists and entrepreneurs pony up if they like your pitch. But when his gal Crystal gains notoriety as an infamous amateur wrestler, she quickly advances to the pro circuit where her greatest challenge is an angry Australian grappler. Follow Gary and Crystal on their extraordinary journey from rags to riches. To rags, to riches, to rags, to riches. All while dealing with shady lawyers, toilet snakes, wild gators, cheating hearts, feral hogs, and problem shoppers. Back Florida Man today and reserve your very own copy of the Florida Man graphic novel. We're bringing back funny books, y'all.
Sounds good. Was everybody out there able to hear that? Let's ask again from the chat.
Well, I heard it this time, so I'm assuming the chat did.
Yeah.
Okay.
Plus, I'm pretty confident in my skills. Just saying. So, I'll let you take it from here. Which you show that was hearable. I'll let you, take over. You ask questions or look at whatever you want to look at. And
Okay.
righty.
Okay, so here we go. Florida Man, graphic novel, volume 1. Florida Man, the hilarious tales of larger-than-life figure from the magical land of Florida, USA. It's 64 pages of hilarious, bizarre adventures from Eisner-winning writer Mike Barron. And unfortunately, we were unable to have him on tonight.
Think of Florida, Rick. Think of Florida as sort of southern Canada.
Okay, I can do that. Who is Florida Man Gary Dubba? Dubba's having a bad day. There's a Duba. Gary Duba's having a bad day. There's a snake in his toilet, a rabbit raccoon in his front yard, and his gal Crystal's in jail for getting naked at the Waffle Castle and licking the manager. Gary is just a southern redneck living in a trailer down by the swamp, but he's got dreams, big dreams. But it seems like every time he tries to get ahead, fate deals him a low blow. Then one day he gets lucky.
Okay, I have a question for this.
Okay.
What on earth is a Waffle Castle?
Well, I think it was just a way of just not using
Waffle House?
Waffle House, yeah.
Oh, okay. I was thinking of this weird hybrid between Waffle House and White Castle.
Who knows?
Which I'm not saying I wouldn't try eating there.
I probably would have called it, Waffle Hut. I don't know why, but Waffle Hut sounds
The
fun.
Pancake Palace.
Fuck yeah. Pancake Palace. That's awesome.
Well, yeah. So, yeah, here's some of the art. Well, along with his best friend, Floyd, Gary sets out to sell his prized Barry Bonds rookie card to raise $500 needed for Crystal's bail, but likely things find a way of getting out of hand. In fact, Duba's got a way of getting cut in all the wrong places. Yeah, definitely good art, Todd.
Thank you.
I take it you're the obvious artist for that project, and Mr. Barron. Mr.
Yeah,
Barron,
the only thing on the this little pinup coming up with the Easter Bunny is the only thing I didn't draw. But because that's Joe Comstock who did a pinup for us. And,
you can tell too, because the line art is drastically different.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the style too. I'd say
I was asked to do this, and I just couldn't. This is a lot better than I would have came up with. I just couldn't envision how I would go about it, But he did a really good job. I give him credit.
Cool.
Burn it.
We're bringing back the funny books, y'all, and of course it goes into a creative team.
Chris, Rick, do you know your comic book Canada history?
Yes and no. Probably not as much as I probably should.
Yeah, I watched.
Why?
I watched a documentary on it. They had on Netflix. Yeah, it was pretty good.
And if anybody in the chat does have questions, just let us know. So yeah, I'm just going up down here. Okay, so there's you, Mike Barron. Who is Chris Brawley? Raleigh.
Chris is the project manager and editor. He's from Bleeding Fool, the website that is sort of like a different version of Bleeding Cool, where it's not slanted and left politics. It's just more of a neutral place for any, where it just gives you, I don't know. I mean, I guess it's just more of a neutral website that doesn't have a leaning.
Oh, it's funny because
Yeah.
it started out as a joke at Bleeding Cool, then it's kind of evolved into a more trustworthy news site.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've actually had a couple things about my channel and my comic on there.
Oh, wow.
George Gatt says he did a thing about when I was having my auctions about their mention me in that, and then when I was running my campaign for the Canadian Shield, I was mentioned in one of their things on campaigns. So
Who's this George Gatz, this guy you speak of?
you don't know who George Peter Gatz is? He did Joe King.
Is that the Cookie Monster Grover looking guy?
Yeah, the blue guy.
Yeah. No, I know who he is. I'm just messing with you.
Ooh, lunchbox. Nice. I guess these are, you can get a lunchbox?
Yeah.
Oh, see, that's totally what you need, Rick. You need a lunchbox.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a new person in the chat. Scott, aka Falconhood 424. AK. When I see AKA, I'm not sure. That could be Evan for all we know.
You just assume everybody's Evan, even when they're clearly not Evan.
Even if you knew they're not Evan, they could be Evan. Oh, Eagle.
Well,
Eagle
yeah.
43.
Hello, Eagle. Hello, Scott. We are going over the campaign of Florida Man, graphic novel volume 1 by Mike Barron and Todd Mulrooney, and we have Todd Mulrooney on here to answer questions about it.
It's going to be 64 pages, might be a little bit more, but it won't, story-wise, it'll be anywhere from 64 to 66, depending how I do a few things with it, as far as scenes and emphasize certain things. Because I've already added a first page. But anyway, you're going to get a good quality book. I mean, it's going to be on great paper. It's already up to 80-pound paper, which is really, really decent paper. I have a few books in front of me that are on that kind of paper. And, you're not going to be disappointed. This is a great story written by Mike Barron, who's a legend in comics. There was over, actually, you know what? I always say over three, but there was over 300 issues of Nexus alone.
Yeah.
And then he also wrote Badger and a lot of other independent comics along the way. But he also has over 100 mainstream comic books under his belt from varying titles.
I gotta answer Snot or however Falconhood. We'll call him Falconhood. No, this would not be a Christian comic. I'm starting to interview some indie creators on their books on Indiegogo, maybe on Kickstarter. I did it before on my channel. I'm an indie creator. It happens to be mine happens to be Christian comic books, but as long as they're decent, moral comics, I figure I can highlight with my small platform about other creators out there.
Rick, are you trying to say that rednecks may not have Christian values?
Well, a lot of them probably do.
They do. They're salt of the earth.
But
most of them live in the Bible.
Yes.
I'm just saying, this comic is not promoting itself as a Christian comic. Am I right?
No, this is not, and it's also not for kids. This would be 14 and up. Yeah, this is going to be 14 and up.
Yeah. So that's all. I'm just differentiating. I'm promoting mine as a Christian comic book, is promoting Christian values in it, where most of the indie creators would not be doing that, and that's fine. Superman doesn't promote itself as a Christian comic book, or Spider-Man, or Batman. So to me, this would be no different than this, just by an indie creator. Yeah.
So any tier, like if you wanted just to buy in at the book, and you could add anything, any one of the tiers. So you can either get the bundle and get everything, which is the lunchbox, is the towel, the shirt, the book, a digital version, postcards, a few extras, and then
Beach towel.
Beach towel, yeah.
Yeah, this looks like a lot. Good deal for $150.
True, trust me, it's very thinly priced, because obviously we're just trying to get a book into your hands and start to build sort of a market for the book and a base of people who are interested in it. And you know what? We hope whatever we end up with at the end of the day, as far as backers go, that we make them happy and they like the book and then they want the next book. And we'll have to prove all that out. But trust me, it's a great story. I just got to execute. And Metal here has seen me, working on a lot of bits and pieces of it over time. So he knows I'm really cerebrally involved in the book. I have the passion. I'm really thinking these things out so that you get the best visual story, because it does need. There's certain beats I have to execute for this whole thing to actually work, because this isn't funny in the sense of punchlines or puns or euphemisms or anything like that. This is really funny based on the situation at the time, what happens to our main character, and where that snowball, once it starts, where it rolls to. So it's those are the funny things. And so a lot of it you have to.
I've got a good way of breaking it down for you, right? You take a lot of these really old comedy movies that were good, like Trading Places and stuff like that. And if you actually take the plot and the base script of the movie, they're not funny. They're almost like serious stories, but they're designed to let somebody come in, the actors, to improvise some funniness into the story, and that's what turns it into more of a comedy. Other than maybe like the final setup also has a comedic tone to it when they do the switch and everything. Right. And that's what you're doing. In this way, you're kind of like the actor. You've even inserted a couple of your own characters, and you're improvising the funniness into the story.
Right.
Falcon Hood says he used to read Chick Tracts, Archangels, and other Christian comics back in the day. Awesome. Well, hopefully you can check out the Canadian Shield. There is a link to that in the description. But there is also a link to this in the description as well, the Indiegogo project. But yeah, any idea what shipping is like on these? Or I know this one would be more than just a regular comic with this big package. But any idea what the shipping is like?
I believe wasn't it Metal for You? Wasn't it $7?
I actually don't remember.
Wait,
but
it goes from
20.
It goes for domestic. It goes from 25 purchase in, and then 31. So that's actually 6.
Yeah, that's for the regular comic, right?
Right. So most people are buying in on that regular $25 tier are only paying $31.
Yeah, which is not bad.
Yeah, and obviously actually, I don't know that's calculated right, but I keep seeing when I go look at what people are buying it at, $31. Maybe I'm not saying there might be more taken from you, but what we end up with is about $6 to ship you the book. So
I paid 31.
Okay, you paid 31.
Yeah.
So we're not going to actually get 6. Because
you get a little bit less, not much, like 5%. Indiegogo takes like 5% of that. So.
Right.
But I guess I was asking for the beach bundle, which gives you like a lot. There's 21 of those claims.
Well, crack out your card and buy at that level and see what it costs you.
I wish I could. And is your shipping? How much is your shipping for places other than the States? Does it go up for
Oh
international
yeah, it
shipping?
goes up. I think it
How
goes up.
much?
I think it goes up to 12.
Well, that's not too bad. That's not too
No,
bad.
we're we're using maybe Metal's heard of this, but we're using something other than mail that's called. I want to almost say it has pirate in the name. Pirate mail, something like
Media mail. What
Metal.
about media mail?
No, certain things don't qualify as media mail. Though graphic novels can. They're shipping.
Oh, we're getting media mail. We are using media mail. Yes,
Yeah.
but for going outside of the country, we're using something that almost sounded like it was called pirate mail, but I don't know what it is.
Well, that's good. Like I said, I know on a lot of these campaigns they're saying.
Are you talking about
Man,
Pirate Ship? Part of the USPS Priority Mail Service?
No, I don't. I'm not sure. I just remember
There's a thing
saying-
called pirate shipping. That might be what you're doing.
maybe that's it. Pirate shipping, maybe.
Yeah.
So after the feature perk, you've got the graphic novel printed version. Are these coming signed by you or Mike?
There is a tier. There is a tier for our autograph.
Okay. I guess obviously that one's.
Yeah, you get both mine and Mike's.
Yeah, the $50 tier you get both of yours. I guess that's because you got to move those around between you and him and all that to get them both signed, and then back to whomever ships them out. But you also get 5 postcards, so that's a good deal, I'd say. $50.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when it's got to be shipped 2 or 3 times.
Right.
And a 6-copy bundle or the retailer bundle.
Yep.
6. That's pretty good.
That'll get you 6 for the price of 4, by the way, which could always come in handy up in the north, because this is going to be very rare up there. So for me, and I were you, I'd probably buy in at this level and then make like $30 off of these things. So you're actually making an extra $5.
Yeah.
To get poor people to go broke.
Well, yeah, but see, you've misrepresented things. That $100 is $130 here.
Right.
You got the exchange rate, so I'd have to sell it for $40 to make any money. But
tell you what, you buy in at that tier, I'll make sure you get them all signed. That'll be even. You could probably sell them for like $60 up there.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I don't got the $130 to spare at the moment.
Wow.
But I would be a ladies wrestling valet. Ooh, so you get the digital version here, Florida Man Prose novel PDF. What's that?
Actually, we can't give that.
What?
We can't give it, but there is a novel out there. It's also called Florida Man, and Mike wrote it, and it's a little different than the comic. It's got a few things that are the same in it, but it's a prose novel. One of his better novels. But we actually can't give it, so we're gonna have.
Well, you might want to go in and change it since
we
can't.
You can't change it. We could actually change it there. You could actually, you can actually change it on that.
You just can't change it on any single one that somebody's already backed.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. You should probably change it on that one. This one here. I didn't know about any of the other ones, and this is. The other one said December. This says November 2020. So that's a pretty good date. That's a few months off. Art of Reed is here, and he says, hello, ladies.
Hey, what's up, Willie Reed?
Yeah. I seen him earlier over on, what's Misfit Corner Comics.
Oh, yeah? hanging out drawing monkeys, or what was he drawing?
No, he was just in the chat.
Oh,
And that's a new game. Let's see. Your name and Florida Man, thanks. So what else do you get here?
you get to be one of the wrestling managers. You'll be on
okay.
7-8 pages of the book.
Ooh,
Yeah.
cool.
Mm-hmm.
That's not bad for $1,200.
Mm-hmm.
Old ladies referee. Somebody already claimed that one. So that's pretty good too. $2,500. Nice getting drawn in, I guess, for sure, to the things, especially if you've got the money. Anybody got any questions out in the chat? I'm trying to think of questions to ask. Well, what? How did you and Mike Barron get together on doing this project?
I had worked for some of his friends, so I did a cover for Mike W. Barr, who wrote you might remember, who wrote the death of a Batman family member. It was Robin. It was like a write-in or call-in vote thing. So he wrote that story, and then he worked on the outside.
Freaking Jason Todd died.
Yeah.
Happened to the comics.
Huh?
So that's probably the best thing that ever happened to the comics.
And obviously he's written 1,000 other things, but I was just trying to pick something that everyone might know him by. So I did a cover for him, and then I did some work with James Hudnall, and they were all friends. These guys were all. So Mike approached me about Florida Man, and so then I started doing the concept sketches for the characters, and then we did a couple pages that were gonna. He was gonna sort of try to, pitch. He pitched Florida Man to his friends and, guys at Dark Horse that he knows and stuff like that. So it had a cover. It had 3 pages. It had the sketches, but it never really caught any traction. People don't really look at Florida Man and go, geez, this is a book about a subculture that's not always looked upon fondly. So it's really weird that, it just didn't slot anywhere. It's not superheroes, obviously, and it's really not. It's not comedy in the sense, like I said, of the wording or the dialogue. So it's a tricky book, and it just never really caught on with anybody. But here we are. We're doing it.
Yeah, and you've raised just under $25,000 so far. 455 backers, which is really, really good. Arthur Reed says he's excited for this book.
Hey, so how many viewers you got? Because I have a contest that I want to talk about.
We've got 8 people watching at the moment.
So I have a contest. And this contest is I'm going to raffle off those 2 tiers, though that it's one tier, but with two people that can be. Oh, hey, what's up, Larry? It can be the wrestling manager. So I'm raffling off the valets. It's a $1,200 gift. I'm basically raffling off $2,400.
You're going to raffle both of them off or just one of them off?
No. If I'm going to raffle both of them off if we get to 600 backers by the time I do appearance on whose show is it? Red Valkyrie.
Ooh. Okay, and when's that?
No, it's a show I got to do Sunday. Oh my God, what is it? I forget.
600 backers or 500 backers?
If we get to 600 backers by the time I do this show on Friday night at I think it's 9 p.m., then I'm gonna give out those.
Because I remember you saying something about this the other day.
Yeah, and that was 500 by like the next day at 6 p.m. or something like that. And
the raffle is much better than your original idea.
Right.
Yeah. Let's see. Rebel's here. Hey, Rebel. Canada's in the house. Scary Bit's here. check the whiteboard, Mike.
Yeah,
Todd,
I
mean,
must have wrote it down. Whose show am I be on this Friday? God, I forgot.
laugh out loud. Too many names, he says. But okay, so 600 backers by Friday. So that's 145 backers he needs by Friday. I wish I could be one of them. So you can back just for $25, $31 American in total if you are in the States, and you could have a chance at getting the big prize being drawn into the book. This should really draw them to the book.
Look, I really want to give these away, but I want to get to the point where the backer total gets there, but they're going to be given to two random people. I'm going to use a randomizer on my phone. It's going to pick the number, and whoever it lands on, those two people will end up being the wrestling valets, and I will.
Odds are one of them is just going to be me.
I will pick that person's outfit. I will pick that person's outfit with them. Like, we'll shape an outfit. We'll shape a look for you. We'll get something that we both like, and that way, because I want that person. Look, these managers aren't as colorful now as they used to be, but back in the day, like the WWF. They had Lou Albano, Classy Freddie Blassie, Grand Wizard of Wrestling.
Oh yeah,
Kamala had his own. There was Mr. Fuji,
Bobby Heenan, the guy for the Hearts.
Yeah, the Hart Foundation, or Jerry Hart, or something like that. Gary Hart, maybe it was. I don't know. But anyway, they were more colorful, and I want to do this. I mean, even Jim Cornette was kind of colorful. He carried around a tennis racket. But I want to do this in that vein, the retro style manager. Maybe. Boy, you need a chair.
Yeah, I need to get a new chair.
Rick needs to do everything.
Well, if I could never get my money from Indiegogo.
Well, anyway, I want to really do this in that, with that idea in mind, that these managers they're colorful. They were more colorful back in the day. They weren't just you weren't just walked in by a female like Elizabeth or something like that. You were walked in by someone who was like a hype machine and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But not just in a suit. I mean, Freddie Blassie, he was always wearing the same color shirt and pants and shoes. Grand Wizard of Wrestling wore a suit, but had a shiny turban, with sequins in it. And of course, Lou Albano wore a Hawaiian shirt, or a big baggy shirt that was always kind of loud. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. Yeah, the WWF back in the day was good. Let's see what else we got.
Lou was also occasionally known to wear a red shirt and blue overalls.
Larry says he once saw Rick fall off the chair. I believe it.
I don't think I ever fell off my chair. I know it sounded like it once, but I didn't.
Oh, somebody's covering up.
There's a conspiracy here we've got to uncover.
And then he says, we all thought he was dead. Scary Bit says, Captain Bogo Lou Albano, basically. Rebel said Jimmy Hart saying, Jimmy. Sunny, haha. Art said, Reed said, I can see that about me falling off my chair and thinking I was dead. So anybody got any questions in the chat for Todd about Florida Man?
Do you have any moderators putting the link up? Or you said
I am a moderator. I probably should be putting the link up. Let me go grab that.
Yeah.
Fail. Epic fail.
I even have the page up in another tab. Like I could easily just copy.
Yeah. I got. Well, I could put it. I could do it too. Here.
Because I know Raggedy. I think I've twisted Raggedy's arm enough that he's going to become a backer.
Yeah. Raggedy says, I'm still not convinced he's not dead. But the great thing is, too, if anybody needs to, the link to the Indiegogo is in the description. The link for Florida Man, also to your Twitter and to your YouTube channel.
Yeah, but like Rick, you died in Canada, which is not the same as dying in real life.
Sort of. It's very close. It's a little bit. You're the magical land of Canada.
Yeah.
What do you want? If you wanted people to understand something about Canada, right? Like there's a misconception, and I'm going to break all misconceptions because Canada should be known for this. What would it be?
We're not cold all year round.
No, that's obviously. I need you to blow my mind with something.
Oh,
I don't know what it is gonna be.
You say that, Todd, like it's obvious. But there are stories of Americans coming up here. They cross the border. They're in like ski jackets and they got skis on the thing. And they're like, "Where's the snow?"
As if like you entered this magical land just by crossing the border, even though it was warm where you just came from.
Larry, help me.
And this is in the middle of summer that they do it. You know.
Larry, help me. Give me that one thing that will blow everyone's mind. If they knew this about Canada, they would come. Because I know it's not going to be their pizza's the best, or we have the best poutine, you know, or whatever. You got to give me that one thing that makes me go, I'm going for that. The best
Artery. Gay Rebel says Naomi. And Artery says everything you've heard about Canada is true.
I forgot. Willie's from
Canada too. Yeah. Him and Rebel are close, I would say. I'm not sure how close, but they're closer together than I am to them. So
how close is anything in Canada? I mean, you're pretty close to Toronto. Your area is pretty dense. Other than that, everything's like super far apart from each other.
Let's see. Rebel says we got some hot chicks here. Arta Reed says we don't have eggnog, we have moose milk.
I've heard that. You told me about that, Willie.
Rebel says Willie is like an hour away, hour and 20 minutes away. Yeah, so you know
that's pretty close. That's like a Texas distance to anywhere.
Well, I said women. Rebel said earlier. So yeah. But
still waiting.
Yeah,
that one thing that'll blow my mind, Rick. If you said, you know what, Canada should be known for its quality or its high, you know, anything. I mean,
all right. We used to be known as the peacekeepers, but you know, now that we got Justin Trudeau,
he's still trying. He's keeping some peace, just with children.
No, he's just making Canada, breaking Canada in pieces.
Like, for instance, right? I heard there really is a village up in the North Pole where it's very exclusive. Not many people know about it.
I have no idea. Rebel says there is nothing, Todd.
I heard there really is some kind of, you know, North Pole village, not run by elves, but
well, if it's not run by elves, I'm not interested.
Yeah, I know, right?
Well, it depends on which North Pole you talk about. Geographical or magnetic?
Geographical.
Because they are two different things. I'm not sure how far away they are from each other, but they are two different things. I don't know I think Canada, well, you know, I think Canada is great because of our healthcare system that don't have to worry about going to the hospital and having to pay.
Does
just
does Canada have an amusement park?
yeah.
What's it called?
Well, we've got several. The two around me, Canada's Wonderland, which is just outside of Toronto, and one closer to the New York border would be Marineland. And then I know we've got a whole bunch of other smaller ones. But Canada's Wonderland is our biggest as far as I know.
Do you have a giant water park?
Oh, if you mean giant as in like Typhoon Lagoon in Disney World, no. Do we got water parks? Yes. Wouldn't call them super big. I don't know where this biggest one is or what the biggest one is. I've been to a few around my area.
Do you use snow dogs?
I don't. The Eskimos or Inuits that might.
Well, they wouldn't be very effective in Rick's area.
Goddamn cars are in the way of everything.
Well, you get like snow for like what, a season? Because you mostly have normal seasons where you are, right?
Yeah, we get between like say December and March. We do have snow, but sometimes there's not snow on the ground during that time either.
Yeah. So it's like, how effective would a snow dog be in that area?
How about this? This one might.
Well, here's something for you. Over in Vancouver, it doesn't snow.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, well, they're on an island. It doesn't snow on islands.
It rains there.
How about this? Is Sasquatch real?
I say yes. Other people have different.
Darn Sasquatch.
Have you seen one?
Have I seen one? No.
How about Larry and Willie? Have they seen one?
Artery says we don't have elves. We have Inuit women with mustaches.
Do the Inuit people want all the land back? Because we're experiencing something very similar to them.
I think they just want to be left alone for the most part.
Right?
Well, I don't think too much land was taken but from the Inuits. It's a lot of frozen up there.
Yeah, they kind of just been in their area from what I've seen, and they just don't want people, bothering them.
Now, some of the regular Indians down here, maybe. But then again, I don't know.
What happened to Canadian football?
What do you mean? It just didn't get popular. It's a harder sport between the two.
Harder how?
We've got 10 extra. Well, we've got 10 extra down, or 10 extra feet, sorry. We got one less down to make it in per thing. Where you have 4 downs to make 10 yards. We only have 3 downs to make 10 yards. And the ball is either smaller or bigger, whichever way would make it harder to catch.
You don't know, but whichever way was harder.
Yeah. Well, I was told, but I just forget that.
You're also, because the field is wider, you're allowed to have up to 12 people on a team playing at once.
Yeah, I do remember the field being wider, even in crosswise.
It's only 3 downs, yeah.
Yeah.
Is football a different medal?
Huh?
Is the football really different?
I don't think so. They don't actually have a regulation for their ball itself.
So they could slide a hockey puck in there and nobody be like none the wiser.
No, I think
all of a sudden they're throwing hockey pucks.
What we see in a rugby ball, it has to fit within those 2 general shapes. But the CFL doesn't actually have a strict regulation for the football, from what I can see reading the rules.
Wow.
Yeah, but I think most of the time they're well, like I said, smaller or bigger. I'm not sure. I know there's 3 or 4 things that are major differences between the two. And
No fair catches, so all punts have to be returned.
Ooh, I like that.
That is a huge. I like that too. That is a huge difference. I think that's the way it should be.
Now I've heard that American football people coming to do Canadian football have a harder time than a Canadian person going to do American football.
That's not true. That's not true. It's you know who ends up in Canadian football, Rick? And this is true. Don't tell me it's not. Is the people who can't make it.
Canadian ball is smaller.
My mom just said, as you probably heard, my mom said the Canadian ball is all smaller.
I believe it since I can't find regulation on here.
Our field is 110 yards.
Yeah. Well, I already said about that.
Yeah.
Don't need to repeat stuff I've already said, Mom, that you've already heard me say.
Look, Rick, your Canadian football is not growing homegrown players. It's taking the people who don't make it into the NFL, who aren't quite scouted and picked up by the scout. You know, it's taking those people and getting the best of them.
Yeah, I will admit American football is a lot more popular and it pays a lot more, which is probably why a lot more people go to it. You know, like
And the halftime show is better in the U.S.
I think I just sort of said that.
Your mom just said all the men are more handsome in the U.S. I heard it.
Halftimes better.
Oh, what?
She said halftimes were better.
Oh, because of the men? Is this
No,
a dual
the
comment?
show. The halftime show.
It's because we dump more money into it. So
Yeah.
we can afford better shows.
Because you could throw snowballs at each other at halftime.
That actually would be an interesting halftime show. Especially if it was like all cheerleaders barely like covered up in the snow, just throwing snowballs at each other. I'd watch that. I'd watch the whole game just for that.
Any more comments from Mom? She seems to know her stuff.
No, she's out of the room now. Out of my room now. But yeah, there's, like I said, there's those differences that make it harder. Because American football pays more people go to it. You know, why should you?
Canadian Football Hall of Fame is in Hamilton.
You heard that too.
Yeah. There's also a big difference on
And
singles.
I've been through it too many times.
So if a team cannot return a kicked ball out of the end zone, like a touchback, even if a field goal, a single point is awarded to the other team. And the team scored against gets to keep the ball like a safety. Which is a pretty major difference.
So, Rick, are you working on the next book?
Oh, well, Canadian Shield #2. Yeah, technically I've drawn it up, or most of it up, but I'm not liking the way it's turning out. My art's not as quite as good as I would like. So I was hoping to be paying somebody to draw #2 up for the Canadian Shield and Snowdrift #1 up with my Indiegogo money. But not sure whether that'll be happening. Depends on how much people come back in to buy back in for the, #1 after sending everybody. Arthur Reed just says he backed Florida Man. Awesome. Thank you.
You know what? Willie's a good guy. We used to do this thing called Indicom TV, and I know Willie wanted to be a part of it, and I have a feeling that he would have been a rower. I think he just, he's having a hard time with he's being pulled in so many different directions, and at the time, he can barely get to his own book. If he's not drawing dogs, he's drawing his book, but I don't even think he's doing that much lately. But I've always liked Willie. I liked having him play around. He would come in the chats, and Willie's a good guy.
Yeah. Did you want the link? Willie, you can come on if you want.
He doesn't need to. I already gushed over him.
I'm not sure whether he's in any of the groups that I give out the link to at the moment. So, just because some people have left the groups and I don't know who's left, who's in the
So,
group.
Rick, right? We're in summer, so you have your
Yeah.
summer there, right? Obviously.
Yeah.
What have you done this summer? Because I know last year, things are different now. Last year you were doing some kind of like there were walks. I don't know if there were stairs or something. Stairs that you have around. Like
I did the stairs was a couple. That stuff was a couple years ago. But I haven't been doing much this year because a certain thing doesn't let you do much.
Well, have you cleared off all the snow off your property?
What snow?
You're trying to tell us it doesn't always snow? And no, I'm just kidding.
We've already been over this.
Well,
Bigger question is what property?
so does this mean you're not going on a mission this summer?
No, I'm not going on a mission this summer. That they were back in February. We had there was a meeting about it, and then the virus hit or the pandemic hit, however you want to say it, and it basically got canceled because it was supposed to be going on this month. So
Where were you going this time if you had gone?
they had one to Peru and another one to Panama.
Panama. I would have chose Panama.
Yeah, that's where I was thinking of going if I could have
Yeah,
raised the
I
fund.
totally want to get malaria too.
They got drugs.
Well,
They got drugs for everything.
Rebel is asking me, I think, what's the latest on Indiegogo? Well, they put out a disbursement last Thursday. I tried to tell them not to because, although they have all the correct information on my end, they've had the same information for the last month and a half, 2 months, and every time they've tried, nothing's went through. And I either didn't catch them at time or didn't. The guy that I've been conversing with. So they tried to do it, and I've been trying to get in touch with him to talk to my bank, but he's just ignoring me till he sees it sees that it failed again. But at the end of July, I'm deciding that I'm giving back money to everybody. I'm returning everybody's money, and then on my website, I am. Let me show me on my website. I am making it so people can go over there and back me. Through PayPal. You hit the button, and then let's see. Well, you hit the button, it goes through, and whatever when you think it's that, and there's credit debit that you can pay with. I don't think you need a PayPal account. So
I hope Willie used my link.
You give them a specific link?
Well, everyone gets it. If you're signed in to Indiegogo, you're given us every link that you use from there is specific to you.
Oh, okay.
So if you have an account there, whether it's a purchasing or whatever, as long as you're signed in, when you generate sort of a share or anything, it's specific to you. So that person of that campaign will be put on like, oh, this person referred you, or it could be just.
So every time I copy that link off of mine, it's gonna say that it came from me.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you go out there and you get me a few more backers, and I'll put you in the book way more than I already planned.
Well, most of the time when people click on links from Rick's chat, it's probably coming from me.
Yeah.
I've actually given a link to Rebel Gaming, but I don't know if he knows where I put it. He should.
The link to, by the link, I mean the link to the show.
Yeah,
What do you mean the link?
I gave him the link. He can come on. He's a good guy. Have you ever met him?
Oh, yeah. I've been on his show several times.
Nuh-uh. I've only been on once. No, twice. Twice. It's a fun show. Larry's got all the bells and whistles. And he's really good at it. He just needs a way bigger platform because he's good at it. He has the energy for it and a way of moving around within a show that's really good. So we got to get Larry like 10,000 backers or subscribers so that we can just go over there and anytime anyone's got a campaign going, he can help us out, you know?
Okay, there. I just sent him the link too to come on. If he wants.
But yeah, he does a good job at it.
Yeah, let's see. He said, well, I'm not sure where the F up is, but I would have sorted this out a long time ago. Yeah, I've been trying. Unfortunately, Indiegogo does not have a phone number. And, you know, you're lucky for these people to get back to you once a day.
Metal. Confirm. I know Metal's got skills. I bet he could find a phone number.
Oh, you want me to go look for one?
Well, technically, I found a phone number, but it goes on, spews about going to the website and doing that, and then it hangs up on you.
You just got to know how to find somebody who has, you know, it's almost like you got to work your way past that number.
And then I called the number again and hit the 0 because, you know, a lot of times you hit the 0 and you get an operator. Did nothing.
This is crazy. Where's this outfit out of? And no one's. No one's in the back.
Someone's got to be in the back.
There he is. Hey, how are you, Larry?
Hold on, I don't know if I got my volume up or not.
I can hear you now. Hello.
We can
hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
I can barely hear you because I'm doing this on a phone.
What?
Oh, okay.
You got Rebel Comics on the road. I'm traveling. Well, I'm not really traveling, but I'm not at home. You know what I mean?
Rebel Comics phone home.
No, Rebel Comics should go home.
I don't hear them. Are you yelling? Did I just hear you yell mush? Like mush? Did you just say mush? Are you driving a sled?
Gosh, you're saying to me, man. No, I'm talking on a phone at a hotel. On hotel Wi-Fi.
Oh, I'm not asking any more questions.
He's at work.
No, I work here.
Oh. Are you sure?
No, he's not sure whether he's at work.
Hey, Larry, I've heard.
Yeah.
I've heard all these new, like, procedures and protocols for hotels. Man, like they don't even want you touching the railings, and one person in an elevator.
Well, heck, one of our major ones here, the Sheraton, closed down.
Wow.
Well, I'll tell you, it's not like that here. Where I'm working, like we don't do hot breakfast, like we don't have the kitchen open, but I mean our pool is open. You know.
Yeah, you're in New Brunswick, right? But you guys have had what, 10 cases?
No, we have like 200 cases.
Okay, I was a bit off.
New Brunswick, isn't that where the bowling was invented?
But we have the Atlantic bubble. So like we got like 4, like basically provinces. They'd be like states to you guys. We got like 4 states that are sharing the same sort of bubble, right? So we can all do business with each other.
Yeah.
So since they opened up the bubble, we've gotten a few more cases because people are traveling back and forth now, right?
Yeah. Well, we've had, I think Ontario, we've had 25,000, around 25,000 cases. Quebec had like almost 60,000 cases.
Well, anywhere where you got a big city, you're going to have a big problem, right? Montreal is having a huge problem. Toronto is having a huge problem. even places like Hamilton and Ottawa are seeing spikes.
Hamilton wasn't that bad. We never even we just closing in on 900, but we may hit it, we may not.
Until there's a vaccine, I don't really see much change in the way that, at least here in Canada, that we're doing things. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, in Canada, we're down to like under 5,000 people infected. So.
Yeah, but in the eyes, that's a lot. In the eyes of Canada, that is 500,000 too many.
No, not 500,000. 5,000.
No, we have more than 5,000 cases, Rick. A lot more than.
No. We've had more than that overall, but right now we're under 5,000 infected.
That you know of.
Okay. No, I checked the website today for Canada.
Well, I'm saying is you can't possibly know how many people are actually infected.
Yeah, well, I'm talking about the recording.
There's probably lots of people that are affected. Just trying to do it off. You know what I mean? Like I'll tell you, way back in November, I thought I was sick for a while. God knows, I should have had it and never got checked, and just kind of worked it off. You know what I mean? Oh yeah. Man.
Yeah. There's a lot of asymptomatic people. But I'm just going by the recorded cases that, people that have reported or went in, got checked, all that stuff. Can't know what you don't know, right?
Well, no, for sure. But that's not the topic of conversation. The topic of conversation, son, is your Indiegogo campaign. And what the hell are we going to do about it?
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, Rick, I'm surprised you're having so much problems getting your money. Because I dealt with them twice now, and I had my money within a week or two, and I never had to chase them down for it. I never had to email anyone or call anybody, or it was just a flawless transaction, brother.
Yeah, well, the first, I didn't know that the first two times they tried, I didn't even know because it was to my first bank account that I set up with it, and I went and got a different bank account because, when I mentioned the ACH to my bank account, they didn't know what that was, but maybe it was just the person that I was talking to, because, just somebody answering phones, they don't know everything, right?
Well, when you call a bank, you're usually calling a call center. That's what you're calling.
Yeah, that's what I mean. You're calling a call center, so they won't know everything, They just know the basic stuff,
Mm-hmm.
So I went and got another bank account at Tangerine, and again, same thing. And then, George gets it.
What do you mean by same thing, though? Well, what is the same thing? What exactly is happening?
I gave them all the correct information, account number.
Let me break this down. Who are you giving information to, the bank or Indiegogo?
Indiegogo.
All right, let's talk about the bank first. No. Let me help me help you, okay? Have you gone to your bank, to the teller, or to a manager there, to the actual branch in person and said, hey, I'm doing business with these people. They're trying to send me money, and for whatever reason, I'm not getting it. Have you had that conversation?
Well, my first bank, I called
up. Yes or no answer, Rick. Yes or no?
Basically, I'd say yes. I called up, made sure my information was correct, and it was. And I've recently given Indiegogo a blank check, so they confirmed that all the information I gave them was correct.
Mm-hmm.
For the bank account that I'm dealing with at the moment, and still it doesn't process.
Okay, so you gave them your account number, your transit number, and all that good stuff. But have you talked to the bank and said, hey, these guys are trying to send me money. There's some sort of block going on here. I'm not getting it. Can you tell me why?
Yeah, I did that. They said it was possibly the SWIFT number because I said it was coming internationally, or SWIFT code, whatever you want to call it. I gave that to the guy I'm dealing with. Oh, he says we don't need that because it's not international, blah, blah, blah. I forget exactly what I got the stuff in the conversation stuff that I can pull up. So, he basically flipped off that that's not it. Meanwhile, everything else is correct,
Okay, so what is reason that you've been given by either party to why you have not received your funds?
Well, the bank doesn't really recognize that they've even been trying to put it in and all Indiegogo says is it cannot be processed.
Okay, they don't give you a reason why. They don't say, hey, we're having a problem on our end, or hey, your bank is giving us an issue, or
they don't. Their error just says it cannot be processed. It doesn't tell them why it cannot be processed.
All right, I'm going to be sending you some stuff to your DM directly. Andy Yang has a Twitter. Andy Yang is the CEO of Indiegogo. So I'm sending this stuff to you, and some other things, by the way. We're gonna help you get to the bottom of this.
Yeah, and I've been sending threatening things, saying, by the end of July, if you don't figure this out, I'm refunding. And I have 3 tickets at the moment. Two of them haven't been contacted at all because I opened them in the last week. We'll say both of them. Nobody's gotten back to me on either of those. And Jason, the guy that I've been talking to or corresponding with, for whatever you want to call it, since he put out the disbursement, said he was going to be putting out the disbursement on Thursday. So my last contact was with him on Wednesday. He hasn't contacted me. Meanwhile, I've put several things in the conversation with him.
Okay, so let me pause you there. When you say disbursement, that means distribution of your money, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so they said he was going to do that on Thursday. Now, you do understand that this takes a good week to process, right?
Yeah, it takes 5 to 7 days, business days.
5 to 7 business days. So you can't include Saturday and Sunday in that mix.
Yeah, so, I know.
So you still got to give time, Rick.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is every time with the information that they've had, which hasn't changed in the last month and a half, and it's always been correct, I haven't got the money. So
now why would I dispersing it? So that sounds like action is finally starting to happen.
No. They tried to disperse it several times like this.
Okay.
Here, let me bring up my campaign.
Well, I mean, at this point, Rick, if you don't get it this time, Indiegogo has that money, not you. And so what you can do is just start issuing refunds. Just hit that refund button for every single person. Indiegogo has to issue that refund themselves, and then you can wash your hands of the whole fucking thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's basically what I'm going to do if nothing happens by the end of July. That's what I've told them.
I mean, it sucks, but I mean, if you can't find a way around this, or maybe you just need to deal with a different bank. I mean, I use RBC. Maybe that's where you need to go. You know what I mean?
Well, George Gatz says he deals with the Scotia Bank, and that's where I'm with now for it. And although he hasn't gotten any money on this, they created a new system of giving out money on, if you may or may not know, in December. So he hasn't got any money from them under this new one, but he got it before on the old ones. So I went and got an exact same type of bank account like him. So, and it's the same one that they've been tried for the last 3 or 4 weeks or months. So here, let's see.
All right, hold on, I gotta shut off this fucking dryer.
Sure. So actually, this is this recent one. Okay, so these first 3, 1, 2, 3. These 3 here, the June 11th, 18th, and July 9th, they were all with the Scotia Bank, and it hasn't gone through. And it's been the correct information each one of those times.
Right, but there's got to be a reason for the holdup, right? Like someone's got to be able to tell you, hey, we tried to disperse the money to the bank. but your bank stopped us, or this happened, or that happened. Someone's got an answer somewhere.
Yeah, you would think, but all they tell me is all the email I get says it just says it cannot process. It doesn't tell why it cannot process.
Okay, well, you need to get someone to tell you why. That's your next step.
Yeah. Well, I've been trying to do that.
How about I try on your behalf and see how far we get? Because I'm a pushy motherfucker. I'll get it done.
Hey, you can try if they'll let you.
Yeah, Rick might just need a pushy guy.
Yeah. I could read you the things I sent him in the last thing. I'm polite, but I'm definitely not nice in it. Or I don't think I'm not all that nice. I'm trying to be a little bit nice in my language, but I want to say you beep 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 beep. Do your freaking beep 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 job.
Well, at this point, do you even care anymore, Rick, or what?
I care because I'd like to do more campaigns through Indiegogo. It would make things easier. As you may or may not have seen earlier, I've set it up so I can do it off my website through PayPal. But it's a lot. I'd say it's a lot easier going through Indiegogo or Kickstarter or somewhere like that. Because a lot of people, they can see the money up there. There's a goal. Blah blah blah. Just because they trust, Indiegogo, quote unquote, trust Indiegogo, it's a lot easier that way if I were to do another quote unquote campaign.
Yeah, no, I can understand wanting to use the platform, and if it's not going to work out this time, then clearly it's not going to work out the second time. Did you have a printer line up for your books? Were you prepared to print them and ship them and all that good stuff? Like, was that all within the works and planned out?
Yeah, I was going to use Mixum. In fact, I got a thing from them, like a sample kit, with a comic book. I showed that off a little bit last week, so the comic quality,
All right, so they sent you a proof. Let's see that. Let's have a look.
Well, this isn't mine, but they had a sample kit for different things like comic book and all that.
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
So you get the texture, paper quality, stuff like that.
Yeah.
They gave me one for a flyer and all that sort of stuff.
Okay, so you had a printer lineup. That's cool.
And decent price, decent shipping to me. I admit I got about a day's worth of work to do on my book. But this whole thing I think has caused me to be very lethargic. But I know within John shared saying in the chat saying what is this? Well, we're supposed to be talking about too with Todd's book. We did do that a bit, of course. Now we're on to whatever talking about.
Well, listen, Todd is on fire. Todd and Mike Barron, Florida Man. I'm seeing it everywhere. I mean, everywhere I turn on Facebook, Florida Man is there. And what are the numbers like now, Todd?
We're at $2,400 or $24,218.
There you go, man. There you go. On fire. How many days are left?
14.
14. So 2 weeks, man. Still have time to jump on Florida Man. I'm going to be in the book, Rick. Did you know that? I'm going to be in the crowd somewhere, man.
Cool. That is awesome for sure.
And I don't mean Niobe. I mean, yeah. First appearance of LP in a comic book.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah, definitely cool.
Florida Man is rocking. We had Mike Barron on the show. Rick, have you ever talked to Mr. Mike Barron before?
No, I have not. I was hoping that Todd could have brought him on tonight, but unfortunately not.
No, I hear you, brother. No, it's a good conversation if you ever make that happen, man.
Yeah. Well, although I did have James Hudnall on here before he died. When him and Matt Cosson. I know him and Matt Cosson did. They were doing Agenda, and then he died before it could be finished. So.
In the chat, we have John Dillard. What is this? This is madness, Mr. Dillard. Pure simple.
Yes.
Insanity and madness.
Mr. Dillard is
we have Timothy Olson says, "What is up? What's up?"
Hey, Timothy.
Right.
Not much. Just talked a little bit about Todd Mulrooney's comic book.
Rick, I heard Tim's been on this show and has a bit of a mouth.
Yeah.
I heard that.
And, he was on last week.
And Rick, you know what your show needs more of?
What?
More cowbell.
More cowbell.
Go buy a cowbell.
Now, John Dillard here says, this channel is too small time for that weakling, Mike Barron, and his tiny arms. Get more famous, Rick.
To be honest,
you need to get more fame, Rick. How do we get you more famous?
I don't know.
Now, I had a conversation today about famous Canadians. We had like William Shatner and Celine Dion and Shania Twain and even Justin Bieber, which the United States can keep. But now we got Rick Piper. God damn it!
Yeah.
Piper needs bells, like Barry. Piper needs bells and whistles.
Famous Canadian Rick Piper.
He needs
bells, whistles, and cowbell.
Yeah, he needs sort of this whole setup to be like a rock show. So he's got a new computer coming.
Right.
We need hopefully. Do you have a track that'll track you? You need a green screen. Look, you're the most dedicated YouTuber. You take up more hours than anyone I know. You need all the bells and whistles.
Yeah.
Okay, Tom.
I know a guy, Rick. I can help make that happen,
Well, I told him as soon as he gets a computer, he needs to install TeamViewer on there. And then I'll hop in, take remote control for when he needs help with stuff, and I'll get him hooked up with everything he needs.
Absolutely. And then you need a chair that squeaks like that.
Well, dude, I swear to God, I saw him fall off the chair. And I know he claims otherwise, but I watched this dude belly up, man. Like, it was the most hilarious thing I ever saw in my life, dude. And for a good 5 minutes, there was like nothing on the stream, and everyone was like tight. Like even Edwin Boyette was there at the time. He's like, "Is he okay? Is he all right?" He's up. He's like, "Yeah, I'm good, everyone."
Well, I think that was when I was doing another talking with the guy that did Tribulation Task Force, because I had Mike.
I don't remember. Year and a half ago, dude. It was a while back, but goddamn it!
Where's Rick? He's gone. Yeah. He disappeared.
He was swallowed by his mountain of comic books.
There, I'm gone. Ooh.
Lots of drama on the last 24 hours concerning this Cecil cover and Dynamite. I've been keeping tabs up with that. I plan to go live on Wednesday for like an open mic show, and that might be one of the topics. You know what I mean?
It's Monday. Yeah. All right, I'll be there.
No, I'm talking about Wednesday.
Dillard says that's the worst idea he's ever heard. Whatever.
Talking about strippers and other things.
Cocaine.
Yeah, this is a family show. This is a Christian show.
No, Rick needs more strippers than cocaine.
Doesn't mean we don't need more cowbell, more strobing lights, disco ball, green screen.
Well, Dylan seems to think it needs more grain, more echo, and more cringe. Rick, can we get more cringe out of this? Is it possible?
I don't know.
Yeah, we can. Listen, all we need to do is in front of green
I mean, you
screen,
brought me on the show. And I'm
record a little animation of like Rick dancing in front of the green screen. I can crop it out, have it loop, and then he can have like a little tiny Rick dancing in the corner while he's talking. We can get this way more cringe.
Dude, that'd be epic. Rick, we'll come up with some ideas. We'll put a game plan together. We'll make it happen for you, sir. You're going to be the most famous Canadian ever, brother.
You know what? I'm for that.
Cringe.
There's nobody more dedicated than Rick. He goes on at the same time all the time.
Right? I got a tagline for you, Rick. More binge for the cringe. What do you think?
More binge for the cringe.
Yeah, like we binge on Rick Piper. You know what I mean? Rick Piper videos. More binge for the cringe.
I think he needs sort of like a schedule, right?
Okay.
Almost like, you know, like the first 10 minutes we talk about this, then I eat a candy bar and I rate it. Go back to the basics and just break this thing wide open.
The candy bar stuff is all on my Pied Piper channel.
He also needs a pulpit. We need to get Rick a pulpit.
How many channels you got, Rick?
Well, technically, I've got 4. I've got 2 with the same name, Pied Piper. I'm trying to slowly get rid of the one Pied Piper. There's a few videos on it still. I'm not sure whether I'm going to move them over to the other one. And then I created one for the coffee house thing I go to. It's called Powerhouse. So I count that, but I don't. And then there's this one. This is my main one.
Dude, I agree.
I was going to say, Rick, I mean, you're on late. You know, usually you're on during the mornings and afternoons, aren't you? Like, this is the first time I've seen you on at, like, midnight. You know what I mean, brother?
He has a midnight show. We're running into it. What are you talking about?
No, yeah. I used to do my 10 o'clock show. Then somebody else took over the time slot, and I had my noon and my 10 o'clock time slot, and somebody else took over the time slot, and I'm like, okay, whatever. And
what do you mean they took it over? This isn't network television. YouTube, you can run whenever you like.
Yeah, I know. Like I say, I use the term "took over" you loosely. I could have.
You were always bigger than that skunk chick, whatever her name is, who's always on her back with her legs up in the air. I forget.
Skunk chick.
Yeah, skunk kid or skunk
girl.
Oh yeah, that's it. Skunk girl, whatever.
But,
skunk girl from Manny, Korea. Good dog press.
But like I said, so I just decided to go with high noon. But now nobody's using this time slot, so I figured for the summer I was going to switch high noon to Tuesdays and Thursdays on Twitch, and then I do my 10 o'clock show, Cross Comics After Dark for the summer.
You just need to be
here's what I would have bought.
What was that?
Rick, here's what I would have bought. Don't worry about when someone else is streaming. If I worried about, I might be running into someone else's show, I would never have a stream. Because right now, especially in the COVID area, everyone is friggin' streaming. Everyone.
Oh yeah. Guess what? When I started this, I worried about that, and then I began not worrying about it. I just did it because why split the views at that point? Fine. They could have went on. He could have went on, after me at midnight or whatever, but he didn't, and fine. I just didn't want to cause any ruckus or whatever, however you want to say it.
I have another show idea. You ready for this? Are you ready for this, Rick? Rick's Action Figure Roadshow. You just take an action figure off the shelf and you talk to it like it's like it's made in 1974 by Mattel. It's great shape, and we'll sell all your action figures at a really, really premium price.
Okay, we're not selling my action figures.
No? You still play with them in the tub?
No. They're just all up there.
You can't let go of a few of them?
I probably could, but most of them aren't in good enough condition to sell. I'd get like a buck if I'm lucky.
Oh, you just have to talk it up. That's all.
It's grainy video. No one's gonna be able to tell. You just act like it's mint.
Yeah, and then when they get it and it's not mint, oh,
it's called buyer's remorse.
Beware.
Well, Naomi was going to say something before you went on.
Buyer's remorse. That sounds like every time I buy Marvel or DC.
Yeah.
What were you going to say?
I get buyer's remorse every time I walk into the comic shop.
What were you going to say before? What were you going to say before Todd suggested the whole action figure roadshow or whatever? Naomi, or do you remember? Or Larry, I should say.
I don't know. We got a bit of a delay, so I'm not even sure what I was saying. And then my mic cut off. My phone said your browser's not compatible with your mic, and then it cut me off. So I have no idea, brother.
Oh, no problem, no problem. Raggedy says, better idea. You go to other people's houses to talk about their action figures when they least suspect it. Grab a figure and break it.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, we'll call it Rick Grab and Go. Right? Rick's Grab and Go.
Raggedy says it's like Jackass meets Antique Roadshow.
Right?
Speed off on your sled.
Yeah.
What sled, eh?
Drive around and throw toys from your car and then spit it off. What do you think, Rick?
Yeah, somehow I don't have a car, so I might be too easily.
Well, that was going to be my next question, Rick.
Does your mom drive?
Someone needs to buy this man a car. I mean, after all, you're getting him a computer.
It's just crowdfunded.
Well, I don't have my license, so.
Rick, it's time to tell your friends good night.
But my mom does have her license, but she does not have a car. She can't afford it.
So how do you get down to the
How
port?
in the hell do you get around, Rick?
The bus, city bus, or walk. More often city bus.
You walk poorly?
Yeah, I do walk poorly, but no, city bus.
Your walk from your house to the Manitoba post office must be pretty far.
Yeah, that would be pretty far.
I heard your postal system's all fucked up. Sorry.
Well, seeing as how I'm in Ontario, Manitoba. What was that, Larry?
I'm done hijacking. I'm going to take off in a few minutes. Is there anything you want to talk about before I go?
Not that I can think of. You want to promote anything before you take off?
Well, there's nothing really ongoing right now. I mean, I'm sending out Niobe Indiegogos to the Indiegogo backers. That's ongoing and in fulfillment right now. Then other than that, there'll be a Kickstarter at the end of summer. But we're just kind of on the infancy of planning that out. We got all the covers done. We're working on pages now, so we'll see what happens, man.
Yeah. Okay. Well, everybody.
I did get a piece of good news. A friend of mine took the liberty of submitting my book to Antarctica, and apparently Ben Dunn really liked it. So waiting to hear back on some stuff. Who knows?
What about that second title that you got in the works, suggested by a good friend of yours, where you start to build your empire?
I didn't hear a word of it.
I said, what about that second title? Huh? The second title that you have in the works.
Second title?
Yeah. Is that top secret?
I'm sorry, man. You're cutting out on me. I really don't know what's going on.
What second title? He's talking about some second title you have in the works, I think, suggested by Todd or somebody else.
Cutting out on me. I mean, I don't have a second title currently. I mean, there's a couple ideas that I've had and a couple of concept drawings that have been done, but nothing.
Nothing permanent. Well, I guess everybody make sure you check out Rebel Gaming here on YouTube. Metal, do you have him that you might be able to put a link in the description?
Not readily available. I could probably go find it real quick.
Thank you. Or Raggedy, somebody with a wrench.
Assuming it's the one right in his Twitter bio.
Actually, no. The one in his Twitter bio is his old.
You probably want to say it from there.
The old one.
Yeah, I know, but I changed it, Todd. I
you did?
upgraded it.
Oh, all right. Good thing.
Yeah. I mean, after you told me that, I kind of went in and fixed that. It took me a few days, but I went ahead and did that. Because I changed the URL. And so when you do that, the old link will no longer work. It's the same channel, just a different URL.
Yeah.
But yeah, Rebel Gaming, the Voice of the North, Shame and Shenanigans, Simpin' Ain't Easy, late night trash television at its worst. So if you're getting tired of watching Dr. Ho or the ShamWow guy, you're drinking that last warm beer, you're down to your last cigarette, you're sitting in your underwear, and you're looking for something to watch at 3 a.m, maybe, just maybe, Rebel Gaming might be for you. But then again, maybe not.
Yeah. Well, it was good. Definitely having
Sounds perfect,
you on.
right, Rick?
Yeah, for sure. So it was good having you on, and thanks for your trying to help with the Indiegogo campaign.
Yeah. The ShamWow guy says Timothy went to prison. He got in trouble for beating up on his wife or girlfriend or something. That is how the story goes. But all right, guys, I'm out of here. Todd, everyone else, we'll talk soon, brothers.
Later.
See ya.
Later.
Peace out.
Later. Take care.
So, anybody out there got anything they want to ask?
Todd, the artist.
Todd, yeah, about his campaign.
Metal, you must have a question.
Oh man, I have to think about them because I've probably already asked you everything in private. So because I've already asked the questions, it's like trying to rethink about things I've asked before.
Yeah.
This is the problem when you're in an interview with somebody who hangs out with you too much.
This is the way.
Yeah.
Timothy asked, so are you going to do a sequel to Florida Man?
We're gonna go straight into the sequel. If I had my druthers, I want to just get to the point where I'm on the last page and go right to the next book. Just because this is kind of a tricky thing to do, campaign and draw and that. It's all, I just want my time to be filled with making pages because I really want to just, I mean, this is going to sound funny or maybe not, but I just want to get better, and I get better with each page and I get an idea of like, I can pull the things from my head to the page a lot better. I can work things out a lot better. I've got a new approach as far as like, I draw at a bigger size and move things around, and I'm trying to create really good eye flow. I know that seems like no one even pays attention to that anymore, but I'm old school, and I think that a whole Z formation of the eye flow of a composition of a page is very, very important. So I do a lot of that, and that's why I kind of have bits, like I do everything in sort of bits and pieces, and then I kind of work it out. Sometimes I might flip it. Sometimes I might throw the Dutch angle at it, but that's kind of how I do it because I want the book to show that I'm skilled enough to do it. I'm skilled enough to work with Mike Barron.
Yeah. Do you know whether he's written enough for a second book or another, 56-page book or?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, that makes it easier going on to a second book. You may want to do the drawing, but
I have ideas I want to throw.
Has the backing past the point to where you can afford to do a second book?
Let's see.
Or is it close enough that you think it'll happen?
I think it's close enough. Where it'll end up at will be, as long as I do like what I'm thinking, as far as just going right from the last page to the next page, the very first page. As long as we do it that way, then I'm thinking I got to push myself to try to get to the point where I can do 3 of these.
Yeah.
And then I have some other people that want to work on some things and give consideration to those. But I do want to do 1 and 2, get those kind of done, and then do something else. I may even get a chance to draw one of my what do you call it? Bucket list books.
Ooh.
Well, like Ignition?
No, like Tex Willer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you were talking about that before.
Yeah. It might be a possibility. But I don't really think, honestly, I don't really think stylistically and fundamentally I'm quite that artist yet. I know I can see it in my head how I want it to look and how I want my cowboys and my scenery to look and stuff, and I can see it, but I don't know if I can pull it off exactly like I see it in my head. And that's just me. That's just me. I'm insecure, or whatever you want to call it, but I really don't want to fail. So I do want to think that there's a point where I'll hit and I go, okay, I'm very, very confident with what I'm doing, how I compose a page, what it has on it, how much, what's the balance of it, and then I go, okay, I think I could pull off the whole cowboy thing. And
that's the easy thing, right? Just go do a Bonanza marathon, and then draw a single frame from every single scene, and you'll be done in no time.
But there's things, I have high expectations of myself when I know what I'm looking at is superior to me, right? I know the guys that have gotten to do that book are very superior to me. So I have high expectations that I know I'm not there. I know I'm not those guys, but I have this feeling I can get there, but just not there yet. And so I just got to push myself to get there. And no, I can pull off that inking style, sort of that old school look, but it has a very modern quality to it. The inking is very, looks kind of brush-like and stuff. I know I can get there, but I'm not there. Yeah. I'm not trying to be Ralph Meyer, by the way, who does that sort of Mobius kind of quality, and the old school with a little modern mix. I mean, he's such a professional, and I don't think I'd ever get to that point. But I've seen some, a lot of the Tex Willard stuff, and I think I could get there.
Well, I remember you were looking at his stuff, and you showed me a lot of Meyer stuff, but you were also showing to art the other day too. And I was like, yeah, Todd's probably got like 100 of his pictures on the computer.
I probably have all the books on my computer.
Probably.
Timothy says, I get it. Reasons why I just do storyboards and covers. Covers can take my time on, and I can do storyboards and hand it off to another artist.
Yeah, but see, Todd is the artist that you hand things off to, which is why he's got to get better.
Yeah.
Or to achieve a certain look, by the way. It's nothing to do with my style and how I draw now. It's because I'm looking for something. It's something I can't achieve, but I can get there.
Yeah.
And if, Rick, you push yourself a little harder, you can get there too.
Oh, yeah, I know.
You're dedicated. You work hard at this. Make sure
for sure
tomorrow's arm is better than today's arm. Tomorrow's foot is better than yesterday's foot.
Yeah.
And yesterday's meatloaf is today's sloppy joes.
Sometimes. Not in this house. Sloppy joes is a completely different thing. All right, Rick, any other questions? This has been...
yeah. Well, I got nothing that I can think of.
Come on. How about a crossover? Would you like to see a crossover? You must have a character isn't a superhero somewhere in that bank of
Oh
characters.
yeah, I'm sure I could come up with any of my some of my not my supporting cast. But I do have a traveling lawyer that can work. But he's the supporting cast, so going to be supporting cast to the Canadian Shield. So, but yeah, crossovers. Yeah, I can see that. Timothy's saying, "Yeah, meatloaf." Anybody out there in that chat got any questions? Oh, we got Flyfox Pro here. Hey, Flyfox.
Also known as Evan?
No,
that's not Evan.
Flyfox is a completely different person.
Are you sure? You never know.
Oh, I'm 100%
Pretty good at
sure.
figuring out who Evan's alts are. Especially because I've also heard Flyfox's voice.
And I've heard Evan.
They're completely different people.
Do you know the name Todd comes from?
Should Thomas?
Todd is another do you remember the Fox and the Hound? Todd means fox.
Okay, so that's why they gave the fox that name.
Yeah.
He says I also show my face on my channel. Says Flyfox.
Yeah, I think I've seen Flyfox's face before. I just don't keep a permanent memory of everybody's face in my head.
Why is the guy from The Walking Dead dressed as Gandalf?
The guy from The Walking Dead dressed as Gandalf.
Yeah, remember the doctor who lost his leg?
Herschel?
Herschel.
Was Herschel a doctor?
It looks like Herschel. Is that Herschel?
You talking about?
Your avatar.
You're
Oh no, that's me.
That's you?
That's just staged up, yeah.
Wow, you look like you're gonna turn into Herschel.
Zeus.
Okay. Flyfox says such a handsome face too. I can't. Timothy says I cannot imagine him telling zombies they shall not pass. But yeah, if anybody has a question or comment for Todd in the chat, please let us know. We've got about 8 minutes left here, unless Todd wants to end early or whatever.
Yeah, Todd. So what's next for the Canadian Shield? Is the Canadian Shield going to fight Buckler?
Oh, well, my Buckler, he won't fight for some number of years. And I don't know about some sort of crossover. Well, technically, John is writing a fighting scene in his book for his version of the Canadian Shield fighting him. So,
well, he said if he got your approval, did you actually approve it?
Yeah, I already approved it. I approved it a couple weeks ago now.
Does Buckler clean house or?
You'll have to get the book to find out.
Or we can find backstage when we ask John.
Does John stream anymore? Who sees John's another abductee? He's been abducted too. I don't even see John anymore.
You saw him last week, and he was in the chat here.
No, he's got his wife pregnant. He can't even come on anymore. What did she got him doing?
I don't know. I didn't wait. I swear I talked to him recently. How many days ago was it?
Well, last week for sure. He was on Monday. We were all here last Monday.
Yeah.
Timothy.
I talked to him more often than that. When was the last time me and him were to hang out?
Well, I think you and him were on some other time last week too. Now you could have talked to him other than that too, but I'm just saying.
Saturday, me and him were talking, and Marsupial was in there too. We were gonna go live. We were gonna roast some people's life.
It was after 1.
Yeah, we were gonna roast some people's waifus, but we never got it fully set up, and it just didn't happen.
What does that even mean?
What?
Roast a wife? I don't even know what that means.
You know what a waifu is?
I think it's some kind of pillow, but dude.
Well, they put them on pillows. No, a waifu. It's just the Japanese way of trying to say the word wife in English because they don't have consonants by themselves, so it's waifu, and it's basically what you call like an anime character that you're attracted to. Like everybody has their waifu, or for girls they have their husbando.
Why does that sound like a Mexican thing? Husbando.
Because they're syllabolic, so everything has to have a syllable attached. Like there's no standalone consonants or vowels. It's always
I will beat you with my waifu. Yeah.
husbando.
Craziness.
Yeah.
Craziness.
And there's like a big culture on the internet about waifus and stuff. So we were just going to go and roast the ones that people like.
What's your favorite waifu?
Oof, that's a tough one.
Oof, tough one, huh?
Yeah, I've never actually thought about it too hard. There's some runners.
Raggedy said this stream just got too weeby. Timothy says, now we know, and knowing is half the battle. G.I. Joe, a real American.
Rick, that reminds me, do you have a whole universe of military guys that are like G.I. Joe?
Not really. I want to create my own quote-unquote Men in Black. Or, well, my SHIELD agency, if you will.
Oh, yeah? SHIELD agency.
You know, like Marvel's SHIELD.
Yeah, but you got to come up with something better than SHIELD agency.
Yeah, well, obviously. I was thinking I was thinking the letters to use would spell the word shift.
Shift.
They shift the balance of power.
You work on that.
So you must have a team called the Maple Leaf Squad.
No.
Come on.
Hey, I don't need to have a joke team like that. You know, like the Canadian Make Me Laugh.
It's on your freaking, your flag. It's not a joke.
Yeah, well, see, the thing is, I don't know about other parts in Canada. We have right in Toronto. There's a hockey team called the Toronto Maple Leafs, and because they're not always the best team, they've got a joke name called the Toronto Make Me Laughs.
It's okay. You could have your own version of Alpha Flight named after everybody's favorite hockey team, the Flyers.
Speaking of, you must have a character that carries a hockey stick and shoots cosmic pucks or something.
No. Well, technically, I do have a character that I called Maple Leaf that does have a hockey stick, but he's probably going to be more Casey Jones.
So you have are any of your characters' real names G?
No.
Come on! That's sacrilegious. How about Renee?
No.
Oh, fuck this guy. Jesus.
Hey, I don't do that stereotypical junk.
You gotta lean into that. You gotta have two.
Todd, now you're just giving me ideas for all of my my parody world of Rick's stuff that I'm going to make and market tons of money off of. That will be far more successful than his stuff, just writing off of it. Clearly plagiarism. And there's going to be a character that's going to be a cosmic hockey puck guy that's basically going to be modeled 100% after Rick.
How many of your characters are named Cloud?
Huh?
Cloud.
None.
Come on, this guy.
What, you have a problem with Strife?
I don't get it. You got to lean into this stuff. That's a team for you. Renee, Guy, Cloud.
I don't know. No, I know one person in my life named Renee. Other than that, those other names, I know nobody by that name. Those names.
You know no geese.
You get it, yeah.
No geese.
You haven't been down to the bar. I guarantee you.
Well,
Oh, yeah, the good Christian
Hello,
has not been
gee.
out to the bar. I have a hard time believing that at all.
I'm not. You do realize I don't live in Quebec, right?
Yeah, dude, the area he lives in is basically very, very similar to upstate New York.
Really? So
I mean, he's not that far from Niagara Falls.
I live an hour from the New York border.
Yeah.
Well, maybe 2. An hour to 2 hours from the New York border.
Still,
New York State border.
You know this is the culture. This is you got to lean into this stuff, man.
Well, okay,
That's not that. None of that stuff is the culture in Hamilton or Toronto or any of the surrounding.
Rick, your universe represents all of Canada. Come on.
Yeah, and most of Canada is not like Quebec. You're looking at the stereotypical Canadian that most Americans think about.
All I know is Guy Lafleur was a great hockey player. And
Yeah,
Renee,
that he was probably from Quebec.
the guy that used to sing at the Bruins game, his name was Renee. I forget what his last name is, but it was Renee something. And he could sing that national.
I probably know more people named Renee than Rick does.
Well, technically, I probably do know 2 people because I have a acquaintance named Renee, and he did have a son named Renee, but I didn't know his son too well, so I know of 2 technically know 2 people named Renee.
Like, I knew 6 different girls named Renee.
Doesn't count. What we're talking about.
You know any people named Guy, Mom?
Guy.
Yes, we do.
See?
Who?
Lives over 185.
Oh, okay. Maybe a new one.
How about Cloud?
Cloud?
Claude? No.
No.
Very suspicious.
You know, let's see.
He's
I
a
know a lot of
British
I
Canadian,
know,
not French Canadian.
I know a lot of Ricks. I know a lot of Steves. I know a lot of George. I know.
How about Regine? You ever hear the name Regine?
No.
What?
Regine. I know Dave's. Do I know Dave's?
Yeah, everybody with those strong British names, because that's the part of the country you live in.
Bob's?
Yeah, Bob, Robert. I think I even know a few Todds in real life. But no, all those French names.
Oh,
They are.
Timothy's got a point though. He does eventually need a beaver themed
There
hero.
wasn't any down in New Brunswick either.
If you're
in
gonna
Toronto or Nova Scotia.
You know, my buckler is named something Pierre Victors.
Pierre.
Yeah, I said Pierre earlier, but yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. Pierre, Guy, Cloud, Renee. That's a team right there. That's the Maple Leaf squad.
Well, but Pierre's the buckler.
My buckler.
That's
Not,
all right. He can be part of it. He can be a leader.
No Canadian would pick that stuff up and read it.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? You know the most popular Canadian character's name is?
Captain Canuck.
Yes.
And his name and Captain Canuck's real name is not Pierre or whatever. I forget what it is offhand.
Guy.
No, it's not Guy.
But the second most popular character is the guy dressed like a.
Oh, let's see. The most famous Canadian. What about the most famous Canadian character out there? What's his real name? Logan.
More specifically, James, which is a British name.
Yeah.
Well, even older, it's a Greek name, but whatever.
What's the guy that's just like a Mountie? What's that character's name?
You talking about Dudley Do Right?
No.
Oh.
Popular comic for years. Back when they had the Whiteys. Remember the Whiteys, Rick?
No.
Are you sure you're Canadian? I'm starting to suspect something fishy here.
Do you remember a comic called The Whiteys?
No, the comics up there were called the Whiteys. Comics in your area, they weren't called, they were called the Whiteys because they were in black and white.
Do you remember them calling comics up this way, calling comics Whiteys?
No.
You need to watch that documentary.
Ever since I started
I think that
reading,
documentary is a little wrong.
ever since
Watch
I
it.
started reading them,
What's it called?
You guys aren't even
was
fucking
way back
not convinced anymore.
at about 57.
My mom was born in 1952.
I'm gonna
What's this documentary called? I'll see whether I can find it and I'll watch it. I'll tell you how much it is correct. Timothy says Wolverine.
I'll send it to you.
The name?
I'll send it to you. I don't know it off.
Okay. But see, everybody wants to.
So Nelvana. This was back when Nelvana was comics and not a cartoon company.
Yeah.
World War II era comics called the Canadian Whites.
Okay, well, my mom doesn't go quite back that far.
What?
World War II. Apparently, in that World War II era, they were called whites because they were black and white.
Oh yeah, there's a whole Wikipedia article on that. You find that pretty easy.
Quite that far back for me.
You know, you got to remember, I was born in '73. That's a little bit after World War II.
Trying to find this Mountie guy's name. I forget what it was.
Well, there's Yvonne of the Yukon. Well, no, it's not Yvonne of the Yukon. Oh, that was a bad cartoon. What was that one with King?
Sergeant Preston.
Sergeant Preston of the Yukon. That was a TV series. Live action. And then there was Due South with the Mountie in. Which did a lot of stereotypical Canadian Mountie stuff.
Even, quote unquote, Last of the Mohicans, or I call it Hawkeye.
Timothy says, I cannot imagine someone saying, hey, pick me up a couple of ways. Yeah. Yeah, that name would be problematic now. Eagle says he's watching. Todd's trying to find the name of the Mountie. There's Dudley Do Right.
Steve, if somebody said I was going to pick up a couple of whites, I think they were talking about getting some new underwear. Some like tidy whities.
The one from Rocky and Bullwinkle, a Mountie.
Would it be the one from Rocky and Bullwinkle?
No, I already said that. That's Dudley.
Oh, Johnny Canuck was the other most popular character. He was some kind of soldier.
Yeah, I've heard of him. I've heard of Nelvana. I don't know a lot about them, but I've heard of them. And of course, there's Alpha Flight.
What about Fleur de Lis? Fleur de Lis?
Yeah, Fleur de Lis.
Yeah.
Yeah, a French superhero. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, come on! You got to remember, half of the original people creating Superman were Canadian.
Half of one guy was there was only one. You're talking about one writer who created.
Well, no, I don't mean writer. The two creators. One of the creators was Canadian, well, sort of. You know, I think he was born up here, raised a bit, and then moved down to Chicago where he met the other guy in school.
Oh, here's one. What's this guy's name? Sergeant Canuck. He was another one, huh?
Anyhow, I am saying goodbye.
Oh, yeah. So,
Polka dot.
okay. Okay, so I'm going to end for everybody. You want to promote anything, Metal?
Oh, just the same I always do. People go check out xtimeischaos.com. Got a lot of stuff for you to just go through. Free content. And if you enjoy it, leave a tip.
And you want to promote Florida Man before?
Back Florida Man today. Become one of 600 people who could end up being a manager in a ladies wrestling match. You could walk your wrestler to the ring and then be seen about 8 pages outside of the ring. The two managers are going to get into a little bit of fisticuffs and maybe slip a leg when a guy's coming off, or one of the girls is coming off the ropes, might pull a leg. So you'll be seeing quite a bit. So either buy that tier now or be one of 600 people that can win it. That's
Cool.
all I got.
Okay, so thanks for the people coming on. Thanks for Todd for coming on and supporting Florida Man. And thanks for everybody in the chat for coming by. And yeah, we're about to go off though, Dillard. We ran a little bit over.
We were talking about John, weren't we? But he wasn't here to hear us.
So yeah, thanks everybody for in the chat for coming by and asking the questions you did. We will catch you all later tomorrow night for Character of the Week. So bye for now. God bless. Love you all.